Hey, good evening. I hope my voice is audible and I'm visible. Can anyone confirm in WhatsApp if my voice is audible and I'm visible? We'll wait for a minute and then we'll start the session. Yeah, good evening, Tushar. Good evening. So I hope my voice is audible now. Perfect. Okay, so we'll wait for one more minute and then we'll start the session. So today's topic is on big data, understanding about big data, and what is the application of big data, impact of big data on pharmacovigilance. So we'll be discussing about what exactly is big data. So that's the first thing which we will do it. So what is big data and how big data is enhancing, and what is a theoretical definition and how are the characteristics of big data. We'll be discussing about this first one. So the second one, what is the emergent or how big data has emerged. So I will be discussing about how big data has emerged, why big data has become so important, why people are speaking so much about big data and its importance and its impact on different industries, including your healthcare or finances, or including about travels, or including about digital marketing, all those things, how it has been discussed. We are going to discuss about how big data came into existence. And the third one, advantage of big data. What are the advantages of big data? So how big data has changed, or how big data is helping for predictions, or how big data is understanding about the customer understandings, how big data is playing a major role. So we'll be discussing about that, and we'll be discussing about application of big data. So different places where this application of big data is being used. So this is one more thing which we are going to use it, and we'll be using, or we'll be understanding about big data, its application, which is more important for today's topic. So what is a big data application in pharmacovigilance? Big data application in pharmacovigilance. So this is something which we are going to discuss about big data, and we are going to also discuss about what are the futuristic aspect of big data, future of big data, and we are also going to discuss about what are the different roles we have for big data, roles of big data, and we are also going to discuss about one of the most important thing, which is called as skill sets which are required for the big data. So overall we are going to discuss, start with what is big data and how big data has emerged, and advantage of big data, and application of big data in pharmacovigilance, specifically in pharmacovigilance. So big data, how it is being used in different steps of pharmacovigilance, either to identify, detect individual cases, or by regulatory authorities, or by signal management, or understanding about how new drugs can be pushed into market by using different kinds of data sets. We are going to discuss about that, and we are going to discuss about the future of big data. What is the future of big data? We are also going to speak about what are the different roles we are going to get in big data, which are the companies which hire for the big data, and what is the skill sets which are required. So I think with this, we are going to cover this all topics for today's session. More excited for speaking towards technology, what is actually big data has done into pharma industry and pharmacovigilance or clinical research industry. So basically, what is big data? So the definition itself speaks about big data. It's a large and complex data sets that are beyond your traditional data. So traditional data were a small data sets, very small, and it was a easy data sets which were easy to identify by Excel or something like that. So, but this data sets are a very large amount, and also the complexity of the data has been increased. Their volume has been increased, their veracity has been increased, the velocity has been increased, and the variety has been increased. So now the characteristics of a big data is 4Ds or 4Vs. What we can call it as 4Vs. So one is the volume of data is very high, because enormous of a data is coming out of your clinical research or pharmacovigilance. every seconds you get the data from the different patients or different medias, social medias, and all those things. We are going to get huge amount of data. So that's first V, which is called as volume of data is very huge. The second thing is variety of data. So there are three types of data. One is structured, one is unstructured, and one is semi-structured. All kind of data we are going to get into your big data. So all variety of data we are going to get into your pharmacovigilance or big data. The next one is velocity of data. The speed, I'm sorry, the speed of data which is generated and processed. How quick you can generate and how quick you can process. So that's about your velocity of data. The last one is veracity of data, that how data is accurate and also how data is reliable and how data is integrity is being maintained. So there are four V's for big data. When we call it as big data, the data should be of huge volume, the first V, huge variety of data, different kinds of data, different sources of data, different activities of data, and velocity, the speed of a data processing where we can do the data processing, and the veracity of the data, which is reliability and accuracy of data. So that's about your big data. Now the next question, how does big data came into picture? Why is this big data came into picture? So because everyone is speaking about only one thing, which is called as the data, and the future is about your data dependent decisions making, data dependent decision makings, or data dependent predictions, or data driven decisions, which can give a very nice predictions for future. So the first point, the emergence of the data, big data, is from your technology advancement. The growth of internet has given so much of things, including your mobile devices, including social medias, IoTs, cloud computing. There is a huge amount of data explosion of data generation, which is day in and day out. So say, for example, a patient is searching something in Google. So one patient is searching in Google for a half an hour. How much data we can get for hundreds of patients, thousands of patients. So that's the technology advancement we have gotten. So that's one thing, technology advancement. The second one is the data-driven decision makings. So organizations are more dependent on increasing of relying on data making insights or data driven decisions for making sure that their business needs, business strategies are also very critical fields they can take a decisions. So the future is on something like that. It's dependent on data, that okay, this year the prediction is this, can we have prediction for 10 years, what is my growth level of my company, or by existing data, how can we predict the amount of activities which are being getting. So that's about data driven decisions. And the next one is advances in storage and processing. So there are so many new applications and new databases and new programming languages which came into picture. Something like Hadoop or Spark and all this have been came into picture, which handles huge amount of data. So they are handling huge amount of data, and also the data is very efficiently making sure that data can be utilized. So this is more important for us, that how big data has emerged. So there are three answers for how big data has emerged. First one is technology advancement. The second one is data-driven decision makings, and third one is advancement in your storage and processing. So now coming back to what are the advantages. So why we have to use the big data in decision making or predictions or understanding about the customer identifications and all those things. Why are we going to do it? What are the advantages? So first advantage is enhanced decision making. So we understand exactly what might happen with the existing data. With a huge amount of big data, we can understand about enhanced decision makings. So that's the first one. The second one is predictions, a predictive analytics. So help predict exactly future trends and also behaviors, how the future is going to happen, what are the activities we can go and invest our time and money, we can understand by using your big data. And the third one, customer insights, what customer is thinking to buy, a deeper understanding of customer preferences, how much time he's spending on a X activity or Y activity, how much time he is taking a shirt to hold in hand and then putting back. So understanding about the customer insights also we are able to understand with respect to big data or use of a big data to understand about customer insights. And the last one is operational efficiency. So you can improve your efficiencies, optimize the processes by identifying inefficiencies. So where are the inefficiencies we can identify by using big data, and also we can take it into consideration, what are the areas for improvement, and how we can improve the activities. So these are the four things which are the advantage. First one is enhanced decision making, the second one is predictive analysis, the third one is to improve the customer insights or understanding about the liking or deeper understanding of customer preferences, customer insights, and the fourth one is improving the operational efficiencies to understand what are the issues we have. Now, coming back to where are the places the big data is being utilized. As already our topic itself is about use of big data in pharmacovigilance. The first one is healthcare. So you name a healthcare, you get a lot of records, including patient records, images, scans, treatment plans, personalized medicines, social histories, medical histories, alcohol histories, and also allergic histories, all together for one patient. But how about every patient who is taking different medication? Huge amount of data, and this data is considered as a big data. So it is being used in healthcare, it is being used in finance, it is being used in retail, it is being used in manufacturing, it is being used in social media to understand about targeted advertisement, how you can target the advertisement, which are the people who can look into it, and user engagement, how people can increase the user engagement. Also, we can look into it by use of application of big data. So now coming back to the application of big data, it is in healthcare, finances, retail, manufacturing, and social media. So these are the points which we understand. Now, coming back to most important topic, the topic of the day is how big data is being used in pharmacovigilance. The first place how big data is being used in pharmacovigilance is identification of adverse event, because pharmacovigilance itself, we call it as we detect an unidentified or unexpected adverse reaction which happened in the group of patients. So first thing, you can identify adverse events based on the analysis of a large amount of volume of a data, including the patient data, and also reports that are being detected by social medias. So you can take it from social media. Patient might go and search in social media saying that what are the adverse event, or patient might go and post saying that I have got an adverse event. How can we collect that data, and how can we analyze that data, and how can we report that data, is something which is called as adverse event detection. So the first point is the big data is being used to detect adverse event, analyzing large volume of data of the patient data, and also understanding about the data which is being reported by the patient in across all medias. So first one, electronic health records, social medias, registries, and also all kind of data which is patient is giving. Based on that, we can identify the adverse events in your pharmacovigilance. So that's first thing, adverse event detection for pharmacovigilance, big data can be used. The second one, so drug safety monitoring. So drug safety monitoring or continuous monitoring of drug safety post marketing. So once the drug is released into the market, how we can continuously monitor about drug safety is something which is more important. Regulatory bodies like FDA is using big data to continuously monitor about drug which has been marketed for several years. So many years the drug is being marketed. How we can do it? By analyzing the healthcare databases and also insurance claims. Say, for example, insurance claims have gone increasingly, that a patient has taken a drug and he got an adverse event. The insurance claims, the US FDA is analyzing this kind of a data, insurance data, wherein they can say that, okay, for this purpose, the insurance data is being used more, and we can get more understanding about the drug and its adverse event. And next one, we have something which is called as regulatory reporting. So the third one is regulatory reporting, where the regulatory bodies have to be reported within a particular designed time. So how we can automatically collect and how we can automatically report and analyze the data, we can use big data. So regulatory reporting, streamlining the process of regulatory reporting, because one day the regulatory reporting by the sponsor also gets delayed. It's a major problem for us. Regulatory reporting, streamlining the process of the reporting of the adverse event or serious adverse event to the regulatory authorities by using automated data collections and also analysis. So a pharmaceutical company can use a big data to automate the collections and also reporting the adverse events to the regulatory bodies such as FDA or EMEA. So this is one more thing which can be done. So the next one is enhancing the patient safety. The fifth one is enhancing the patient safety by predicting and preventing the adverse event. So you can predict an adverse event before it occurs, and also you can prevent it before it occurs. A healthcare providers uses the big data to analyze the patient data, and also he can predict whether the patient is high risk for a particular adverse reaction in a particular group of a patient, or he might experience some severe adverse reaction based on the prescribed medication which is being given. So depending on that, patient can take the medication or healthcare provider can change the medication, so enhancing the patient safety by predicting and preventing the adverse reaction by healthcare providers. We can use the big data for this. So now coming back to what are the skills required. So we have already spoken about skill signal management, and we have already spoken about regulatory reporting. We have already spoken about drug safety monitoring. We have already spoken about the identification and detection, and we have already spoken about the processing of the data, patient safety data, and predicting the adverse event before it occurs. Now, what are the skills required for a big data or going into your opportunities like big data? So technical skills should be there, and R or Python languages, SQL languages, Hadoop languages for big data technologies, or Tableau or Power BI technologies, and analytical skills to understand about large data sets, and problem solving skills, and also the domain knowledge like pharma or clinical research domain knowledge is more important. So now companies have started hiring big data and data scientists. So including Cipla has started hiring, Reddy's have started hiring, Sun Pharma and Biocon and Lupin, Zydus Cardila. So there are so many companies which are hiring for your roles such as data scientist or big data analyst or pharmacovigilance scientist or clinical data analytics. So now what are the careers we have? A data scientist, you have big data analyst, you have clinical data manager or machine learning engineer or pharmacovigilance scientist or pharmacovigilance data scientist we have. So what is the future of the big data? What is the future of big data? How big data is being looked at it? So it's a growing demand because increasing need of data-driven decision makings across all industries. We need a data-driven decisions to be made. So that's why the importance of big data has gone so much high. The government initiatives have been taken care. Job opportunities are so much high growth in big data analytics, and also education and training on big data, because we started speaking on decision makings, the predictive analysis, and also analytical skills which are based on big data. So innovation hubs. So this all comes into picture that big data analytics role in pharmacovigilance has been grown so much, or it is going to be grown so much in terms of job opportunities or skill requirement. So one last comment note which I wanted to give is the future is on big data. Understanding about how data comes into picture, how data can be processed, how data can be understood by using NLPs or predictive analysis and processing, and how data can be used for data driven decisions or predictive analysis, and also preventing the adverse event before it occurs, or how decisions can be taken care with the existing data. So now I think with that note, the understanding of big data and its impact in pharmacovigilance. So we have completed this topic, and tomorrow I have one more live session in LinkedIn. So it's about real world evidence studies in pharmacovigilance, how real world evidence studies can be used in pharmacovigilance, and what is the impact of real world evidence in pharmacovigilance. So I'm open for questions. Any quick questions anyone have? I'll have 1 minute of time, so anyone can type any questions. I hope the session was useful, and please get back to us if you have more questions or more live sessions needed for any topic which I might not have covered. So I'll be happy to cover all this kind of sessions during my YouTube live or LinkedIn live in any of the weekends. So I'm open for questions or any suggestions or any feedbacks anyone wants to give. Please let us know. So we are happy to help all the youngsters and all the students who want to ask any kind of questions. So I'll pass for 1 minute. Any questions you can ask, or else you're good to close the session. Any questions, any feedbacks anyone have? Okay. So I think I don't see any questions or any feedbacks as of now. Thank you for joining on this weekend for the live session on understanding about big data and its importance and its impact on pharmacovigilance. Thank you. Have a nice, wonderful week. Thank you.